Kingdom campfires, they burn so bright. God guides us with His holy light. Entrepreneurs with faith so bold, transforming the marketplace, co-creating kingdom gold.
Hey guys, welcome to the Kingdom Campfires podcast dedicated to marketplace wisdom and kingdom transformation. I'm your host, Michael Woodfield, and for the next few minutes, I want to invite you around a campfire style, authentic conversation as entrepreneurs and leaders just like you share their journey of seeking first the kingdom of God and co-laboring with Him in the marketplace. Kingdom Campfires is sponsored by Sprint Wins, a system that helps you launch your own personalized AI virtual assistant that's customized to meet your specific business needs. Imagine having your own AI virtual assistant that's specifically trained to reduce your workload so you can see quick wins with quality lead generation, client acquisition, standing out in an oversaturated market, and scaling growth and profits all on autopilot. Learn how to set up and launch your own marketing assistant in just one day. Visit sprintwins.com today. Today's guest is Jamie J. from Missouri, and Jamie is the CEO and founder of Bottleneck Distant Assistance, the world's first dedicated distant assistant company, specializing in workflow management and strategic delegation. With over 2 decades of entrepreneurial experience in this field, Jamie has revolutionized how business leaders scale by pairing them with highly tech-enabled, proactive, and skilled distant assistants. He's a U.S. Army veteran turned entrepreneur. Jamie blends discipline with creative problem solving, helping business owners eliminate bottlenecks that stifle growth. Jamie J., welcome to the Kingdom Campfires podcast. I'm going to go ahead and kick it off with our first question. What's a common misconception people have about integrating faith and business?
I I think there's several common misconceptions, but I think one that may be the tip of the spear for me is worried that that will make you feel differently, and so some people aren't able to have the confidence to share their faith or share what they believe in right off the bat, which in my particular opinion reduces authenticity and things like that. So that's one hurdle I think they have to get over. Pretty big misconception in my mind.
Yeah, that's really good. And I think a lot of times people that have that kind of hesitancy, if they can maybe stop, pause, and pray, just to gain that wisdom from the Lord on how to integrate that or how to share your faith. That's really good. How do you approach stewardship of resources differently than maybe conventional business models would?
You have to believe that you're doing the right thing. And you have to you have to understand that there's no such thing as work-life balance. There's just life balance. And you have to live your life and be confident in the fact that you're doing good, that you're doing right. And in this case, right by the Lord, right by your business. And once you have that confidence to understand that what you're doing is right, I think the rest of your path, although challenging as it may be, it's written for you. So just know you're doing the right thing and go down that path with the confidence, knowing that the right thing is not always the easiest thing, but it's the right thing. And if you can attach yourself to that and whatever right means to you, I think you're going to be doing all right.
Yeah, that's really cool. So you mentioned that word life balance versus work-life balance. Can you touch just a little bit on that? Maybe expand on that?
Absolutely. We live one life. There's no practice life. It's one life. And you choose what you're going to do with your life, whether it's working in a job that you just cannot stand and don't want to be going to. Change it up. Do what you want to do. We have one round at this, right? So do what you can to live your life balance, because if you're working in a job, you're living at home, you have your family, you have your friends, be intentional about where you're at that particular time, and do the best you possibly can. Remember, you believe in doing the right thing, so do that in every aspect of your life. Therefore, you're not acting like one person at work and one person and in your personal life. Everything is one. And I think sometimes if you act like somebody different at work than you do in your real life, you're not in the right position.
Yeah, that's really good and true. So how do you practically apply? I know there's a lot of scripture that talks about generosity. How do you practically apply the principles found like in Proverbs 11 where it talks about generous giving in your business?
So there's a couple ways that we do this. It depends on different targets that we're or different industries that we're in. I'm a veteran, 82nd Airborne, hoo-ah, jumping out of perfectly good airplanes, loved all that stuff. So we give back to the veteran community. It I have to be careful when it comes to faith too, because I was part of a mastermind group and uh they were heavily faith focused and heavily driven that way. And sometimes I think people let people use their faith as a crutch, as a marketing tool. And I don't necessarily um I'm all about it. Believe you me, I believe in God. Faith is if you don't have faith, I don't know. I don't know what it's something that I believe in that carries me forward. The challenge is I don't like it when people use faith as a crutch to enhance their personal um wealth or their finance. I don't like that aspect. And I've had a couple experiences like that. And they've just been so in the forefront of God and faith and this, and it doesn't match with their life practice. And so I just caution those to be very careful about that. I believe in it, but I don't push it on anybody, and I will never leverage that against doing business or personal life ever.
Yeah, yeah. I think I kind of get what you're saying. It's almost like as a manipulation type
Perfect.
tactic.
It's not
Yeah.
persuasion, it's manipulation.
Yeah,
Yes, you
yeah.
nailed it.
I get
Absolutely.
what you're saying. Yeah, I've seen that happen, and it's unfortunate that some people use that type of a tactic. So how is your definition of success? I know you're talking about your business, this thing that you've done, even in looking at your time in the service. How has your definition of success transformed through your journey with God and your business?
So thanks to my wife, she keeps it kind of top of mind. We don't go to church that often. By the way, we're looking. We can't find a church that agrees with us right now, but I think success is transformed just in the simple fact that I truly believe we've got this one life to live, do right, and be vulnerable. I think, especially dealing with people of faith that are in business, the more vulnerable you are with them, as scary as that sounds, the more they lift you up. And we have God to thank for that. I think that's um, how that's influenced my business because it's very scary to believe in something. It's very scary to know that that is your true north, your guiding light. And I think that's probably how it's transformed my journey with God and business is just believing and just going for it.
Yeah, that's really good. Relying on your faith in Him. Obviously doing, back to that question of co-laboring with Him, not just depending on Him to do all the work. You've got to do our part, right? But then if you're looking at your faith, you've mentioned that word several times here. How do you maintain faith and vision during seasons maybe in your business where you're working hard, but you're not seeing the results yet?
So that's the part of faith that's easy for me in trying times because that's when I really double down and I'm reminded of how much faith has to do with everything. It's more along the times of where I'm doing good and everything is rocking and rolling and I almost forget, like, hey, thank you for giving me this great life. Don't get me wrong. It's there, but I think it's more prevalent in those trying times because you're like, geez, help me out. What do I do, Lord? You know? And I think I've got a ton of growth to do in my life in balancing that through good times and bad. And good times is I need him just as much, if not more, to keep me
Yeah,
humble.
that's true. That's true. And that's a key thing in there as far as seeing growth is being humble, being pliable or even being available. So I think it takes humility to admit we don't know everything. We don't always have all the answers, and relying in faith obviously is a key piece of that. So what does marketplace excellence look like through a kingdom lens?
So I think I think it's having high integrity, and it's being intentional. Right now, I'm sitting here talking to you, Michael, right? I'm talking to you. I could be distracted by the beautiful scenery outside. I could be typing away on my keyboard, making sure I send that next email that needs to go out. I could be thinking about something that I need to do after this, but I try to maintain a discipline in being intentional, and I think that really bodes well and has something to do with that fella up there guiding us in a direction to maintain some level of integrity through our business, our best practices in business. And integrity is right up there with intentionality. I wholeheartedly believe that the more you give in the moment is more how I live by my definition of life balance, not work-life balance.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. So you mentioned earlier we were talking about your bio, and I touched on a few of the things that you're doing in business. Can you maybe expand a bit on that so people can better understand like what it is that you do?
Absolutely. So, I've been in this industry for 20 years in what they call the virtual assistant industry, and I think what's happening is a lot of people are getting confused with what a virtual assistant is. Is it a human being? Is it, like you said, your sponsor? What was it? Win
Sprint wins? Yeah.
Sprint wins. Fantastic concept. I mean, fantastic. People need to leverage things like that in order to be able to live the style that they want to do and be able to scale and things like that. And that is awesome and perfect for a certain fit. It'd be perfect for me probably. What we specialize in is we try to tell people to stop hiring and start delegating. We have created a new category that is called delegation intelligence, because what we found is people hire, they mishire, they fire, they rehire, they're struggling, they're scaling, they don't have the right systems and processes in place. And what we found is many people have a marketing department or a sales department or an operations department or whatever department. They don't have a delegation department. How is that possible? How can you possibly expect to scale your business if you can't focus on revenue generating opportunities and delegate all the tasks that are extremely important to a person you have the confidence in knowing that that's going to be completed? Therefore, we launched Delegation Intelligence and define that specifically for how things get delegated through systems and processes. And it's amazing to me how that's kind of taking off and people are realizing like, I didn't know how to delegate, right? There's a method to the madness. There's a way to make this work so that you can scale, grow your business, and all those things that they don't really give you that much energy. You can start delegating those things off of your plate and give it to somebody who gets a lot of energy out of doing those things that you do not. In my case, bookkeeping. Hate it. But I can delegate that to somebody who absolutely loves it. She gets excited talking about bookkeeping.
Yeah, that's a really cool example. Well, no doubt some of our listeners are interested in some of the things you mentioned there, maybe learning more. How would someone connect and learn more about what it is that you do?
Yeah, I would encourage them. You mentioned AI. We're big fans of AI. All of our assistants are highly tech enabled human beings with that leverage AI. And we have a new component called the Delegation IQ Blueprint. And through generative AI and leveraging the power of enriched data, it'll build a 10-page custom report specifically for them, and it will outline what their challenges are, how to overcome those challenges, and what life's going to look like. Kind of paint a little picture of what life will look like after you implement against these challenges. So it's free of charge, and it's a fun little report because it's all about you.
Yeah. And where would they find that?
They would go to bottleneck.online.
Bottleneck.online.
Yes.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap up from here. Thanks to our guest, Jamie J, for joining us and sharing your kingdom-focused journey. You can learn more about what it is that he's doing there by visiting that Bottleneck. What was it?
.online.
Bottleneck.online.
Yep.
And that'll get you that free tool that he's mentioned there. So
You can also Google it. Delegation IQ Blueprint. You can Google it and it'll pop up.
It'll pop up. So we're going to leave that description here in the episode so you'll be sure and be able to find it. So if you're a kingdom entrepreneur that's a leader that's focused on seeing his kingdom come in your business and in everyday life, I want to extend a special invite to join us as a guest. Visit kingdomcampfires.com and you can apply there. And one more time, if you want to learn how to set up your own marketing assistant that's specifically trained to ensure you're able to reduce your workload and have quick wins with quality lead generation, client acquisition, standing out in an oversaturated market, and scaling growth and profits, all on autopilot, visit sprintwins.com today. So that's a wrap for today's Kingdom Campfire conversation. We'll see you next time.
In fields where dreams and visions bloom, under stars we watch the flames. We gather in the campfire's light, sharing God's vision for our lives, where sparks of hope and passion flare, bearing our hearts His light to share. Whispers of Holy Spirit's call echo in the hearts of all. Kingdom campfires, they burn so bright. God guides us with His holy light. Entrepreneurs with faith so bold, transforming the marketplace, co-creating kingdom gold. Beyond the fire, where shadows fade, by His grace He guides the way. Every heart on the mission field, together we shall see it built. A tapestry of faith and traits, where every thread is heaven made, sharing visions hand in hand. We light these fires across the land. Kingdom campfires, they burn so bright. God guides us with His holy light. Entrepreneurs with faith so bold, transforming the marketplace, co-creating kingdom gold.